Hey everyone, and welcome back to Tom Spotlight. Get ready, because the news cycle is moving faster than ever, and we've got the absolute must-know updates you don't want to miss. From surprising celebrity interactions to groundbreaking film news, we're diving deep into what's making headlines. Today, we're talking about a moment that had everyone buzzing. We have a peek into a highly anticipated project and a celebrity connection that's sparking theories. Plus, we've got another fascinating story that will keep you on the edge of your seat. Stick around, you won't want to miss a second of this. Let's get into it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an update. An unexpected reaction to a familiar name. In a recent interview that's captured the attention of many, actor Tom Hiddleston found himself in a rather curious situation when his past connection to pop superstar Taylor Swift was unexpectedly brought up. While promoting his upcoming film, The Life of Chuck, alongside co-star Karen Gillan on the UK's Heart Radio, host Devin Griffin casually mentioned Swift's well-known penchant for sourdough baking. Hiddleston, who was discussing his interests, which include delving into sports highlights, was momentarily taken aback by the non-sequitur. Griffin noted Swift's specific interest in a sourdough recipe blog, a detail that seemed to catch Hiddleston off guard, leading to a brief moment of blankness before he could process the mention. "We did just find out Taylor Swift, big fan of a sourdough recipe blog. Very, very specific, but I see how you could get into that," Griffin remarked. Hiddleston's initial reaction was one of mild confusion, not knowing where the conversation was headed, but as it became clear it wasn't a direct question about their past relationship, he began to laugh. Karen Gillan, ever the quick-witted co-star, chimed in, suggesting that Swift's mention of sourdough might be an Easter egg, possibly related to the Super Bowl. She playfully theorized about the Super Bowl's location and a potential sourdough mascot connection, which Hiddleston responded to with a tease about her deep knowledge of the NFL. The host then smoothly transitioned away from the topic, leaving the hosts and guests to share a laugh over Gillan's unique theory. The radio station later shared the clip on TikTok with the caption, "When you accidentally mention their ex," adding, "Man didn't flinch." Hiddleston and Swift famously dated for a brief period in 2016, with details of their romance shared on Swift's social media at the time. Both have since moved on, with Swift in a relationship with Travis Kelce since 2023, and Hiddleston engaged to actress Zawe Ashton since 2022, with whom he also shares a child and is expecting another. The interview highlighted how, even with past relationships in the rearview, a simple mention can still create an interesting, albeit brief, moment of public recall and speculation, especially when the names involved are as prominent as Swift and Hiddleston. But what exactly is The Life of Chuck all about? Next, we're diving into the film that brought Hiddleston and Gillan together, a unique adaptation from a beloved author. A deep dive into The Life of Chuck. Prepare to be captivated by The Life of Chuck, a cinematic offering that dares to be different, presenting a seductive mystery fable adapted from a novella by the iconic Stephen King. This film challenges audience expectations by eschewing the typical multiplex fare of sequels and remakes for something truly original. The narrative centers on Chuck Krantz, a character whose name begins to appear ubiquitously, yet whose identity remains an enigma to many. The story, masterfully directed by Mike Flanagan, who is no stranger to adapting King's works, is told in a nonlinear fashion, structured into 3 chapters, with the final chapter, "Thanks, Chuck," presented first. This unconventional approach immediately immerses the viewer in a world where the internet has ceased to function, a stark reflection of our growing concerns about environmental impact and our reliance on digital infrastructure. The film posits a future, or perhaps an alternate reality, where global connectivity has failed, leading to widespread disruption. Amidst this backdrop, the narrative unfolds, touching upon themes of climate change with references to natural disasters and environmental degradation. However, The Life of Chuck is far from a dystopian narrative. Instead, it's a profound exploration of life, dance, mathematics, and the statistics of probability, heavily influenced by the cosmic perspective of Carl Sagan. Flanagan uses Sagan's concept of the cosmic calendar to frame the human story within the vastness of universal history, highlighting humanity's relatively brief but impactful existence. The film contemplates humanity's legacy, our art, music, literature, philosophy, science, and dance, as a source of pride, even in the face of existential challenges. The story follows Marty Anderson, a middle school teacher and Carl Sagan enthusiast, as he navigates a world without the internet, dealing with personal matters, including his ex-wife Felicia, played by Karen Gillan. Throughout their journey, billboards and the sole available TV channel herald the name Chuck Krantz and his 39 years, adding layers to the central mystery. Tom Hiddleston embodies Chuck Krantz, with his life story unfolding in reverse, reminiscent of narrative structures found in Harold Pinter's Betrayal and Stephen Sondheim's Merrily We Roll Along. This backward progression creates a compelling, densely cross-referenced narrative that draws the audience in, making for an entrancing, challenging, and thought-provoking cinematic experience. Despite the film's intricate structure and thematic depth, the performances are consistently strong, with Hiddleston and the ensemble cast delivering committed and charismatic portrayals. While some critics suggest the ending might not fully match the promise of its opening, the overall journey is deemed exceptionally worthwhile, marking the life of Chuck as a truly original and memorable film. The production credits highlight the collaborative effort behind this ambitious project, with Intrepid Pictures, Red Room Pictures, QWG Meyer, and Film Nation Entertainment joining forces with Studio Canal for its release. That's a fascinating look at a film that promises to be unlike anything else you'll see this year. Next, we revisit that viral interview moment, but with a closer look at the specific theories swirling around it. Swiftie theories and a celebrity's composure. The recent interview featuring Tom Hiddleston and Karen Gillan took an unexpected turn when the topic of Taylor Swift, Hiddleston's former girlfriend, was broached. While promoting their film, The Life of Chuck, the duo appeared on Heart Radio, where host Devin Griffin introduced the subject of Swift's baking habits, specifically her interest in sourdough blogs. This mention, seemingly innocent, sparked a flurry of discussion and speculation, largely fueled by Swifties, Taylor Swift's dedicated fanbase. The interview clip, which went viral, showed Hiddleston's calm reaction to the mention of his ex, leading many to believe the host was attempting a gotcha moment. However, the context provided by the news outlets and Hiddleston's co-star, Karen Gillan, reveals a deeper layer of fan-driven theories. Gillan herself suggested that Swift's mention of sourdough could be an Easter egg, a coded message intended for her fans. This theory is rooted in Swift's known practice of leaving subtle clues about her upcoming projects, albums, or significant events within her public statements and social media. The current speculation connects the sourdough references to a potential Super Bowl halftime show performance by Swift. The reasoning behind this intricate theory involves the location of an upcoming Super Bowl, Levi's Stadium, which is the home of the San Francisco 49ers. The mascot for the 49ers is Sourdough Sam. Swifties have interpreted her repeated mentions of sourdough as a direct nod to this connection, predicting her involvement in the halftime show. This intricate web of fan interpretation highlights the immense cultural impact Swift has, where even mundane details like baking preferences can become subjects of widespread, elaborate theories. The news reports emphasize that the host's mention of sourdough was likely tied to these viral fan theories rather than a deliberate attempt to probe Hiddleston about his past relationship. Hiddleston's composure in the face of this unexpected tangent was noteworthy. While momentarily blank, he quickly recovered, and with Gillan's interjection about the Super Bowl and Easter eggs, the conversation shifted. Hiddleston's own remark about Gillan's deep knowledge of the NFL playfully acknowledged the ongoing discussion. The reporting also contrasts Hiddleston's current private life with actress Zawe Ashton, with whom he is engaged and has a child, against Swift's very public relationship with Travis Kelce. The article points out that Swift's omnipresence in pop culture means her name is frequently brought up, even in contexts unrelated to her personal life, simply due to her immense fame and the constant public interest. Ultimately, the interview moment serves as a fascinating case study in celebrity fan culture, and the way information, both factual and speculative, travels in the digital age. Hiddleston's handling of the situation, alongside Gillan's witty contribution, ensured the segment remained lighthearted and focused on the underlying theories rather than dwelling on a past romance. The narrative also touches upon the power of fan communities to create and sustain elaborate narratives around their favorite artists, turning everyday mentions into significant cultural moments. It's clear that Taylor Swift's influence extends far beyond music, shaping fan theories and conversations. Now, let's look at another angle of this interview, focusing on the precise wording and reactions that made it so talked about. An awkward encounter, Hiddleston on Swift. Tom Hiddleston, the celebrated actor known for his role as Loki, recently experienced a moment of professional awkwardness during a live radio interview. While promoting his upcoming film, The Life of Chuck, Hiddleston, alongside his co-star Karen Gillan, was interviewed by Heart Radio. The interview took an unexpected turn when the host, Devin Griffin, steered the conversation towards Hiddleston's past relationship with global music phenomenon Taylor Swift. The British actor, 44, and the pop star, 35, had a brief romance in 2016, which reportedly ended after about 3 months, with speculation suggesting the highly public nature of their relationship contributed to the split. Hiddleston was reportedly expecting to discuss his new film, but the sudden mention of his famous ex-girlfriend caught him off guard. The host initiated the topic by asking Hiddleston about his preferred ways to spend his evenings. He responded by mentioning his enjoyment of watching sports highlights, particularly football and tennis, and reading articles by sports journalists. "I find myself on the sports highlights. It's football, or if there's been a tennis championship that I've missed," Hiddleston shared. "I'll go on to read what all these sports journalists have said about sport who write really beautifully about it. It's kind of nerdy." It was at this point that the host introduced a seemingly tangential question about Taylor Swift's recent discussions of sports and her baking hobby, specifically sourdough, on Travis Kelce's podcast, New Heights. "We did just find out Taylor Swift is a big fan of a sourdough recipe blog. Very, very specific, but I could see how you could get into that," the host remarked. Hiddleston's reaction was described as noticeably taken aback, displaying a blank expression as the host elaborated on his ex's hobby. He responded with a simple and a nod. Fortunately for Hiddleston, his The Life of Chuck co-star, Karen Gillan, intervened to ease the tension. Gillan lightheartedly suggested that Swift's mention of sourdough could be an Easter egg, hinting at a potential connection to the Super Bowl. This comment tapped into Swift's well-known practice of embedding clues for her fans, known as Swifties, who actively analyze her content for hidden meanings. Hiddleston then steered the conversation back to sports, remarking on Gillan's deep knowledge of the NFL. The article also provides an update on Hiddleston's current personal life, noting his engagement to British actress Zawe Ashton since 2022. The couple, who keep their relationship private, are expecting their second child. In contrast, Swift's relationship with NFL player Travis Kelce has been highly public since late 2023. The piece recounts Kelce's initial attempt to connect with Swift by offering his phone number via a friendship bracelet at one of her concerts. The interview segment, while potentially awkward, ultimately showcased Hiddleston's ability to navigate a sensitive topic with grace, aided by his co-star's quick thinking and the underlying context of fan culture surrounding Swift. The focus remained on the intriguing fan theories and Hiddleston's professional demeanor, rather than dwelling on the past relationship. It's a delicate balance for celebrities when past relationships intersect with current promotions. Up next, we're going to look at the broader context of The Life of Chuck and what makes it such a unique project. That's a wrap on today's top stories. We saw Tom Hiddleston handle an unexpected mention of Taylor Swift with grace. We got an in-depth look at the intriguing Stephen King adaptation, The Life of Chuck. We explored the viral Swiftie theories connecting sourdough to the Super Bowl and heard about Hiddleston's own reaction to the whole situation. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to Tom's Spotlight for more, hit that notification bell, leave a comment with your thoughts, and follow us on all our social media channels. We'll see you next time.